I have so many magnificent memories with my dad. I remember him taking me with him to the bank, and we'd have to cross a busy street, and he would hold his finger out and I would grab his finger as he was leading me across the street. I remember him taking me to Coors Hobby Shop, which was downtown Washington, D.C., and he would buy me electric trains and plastic models from Monogram and Revell. I remember him taking me to Sunny Surplus, where I could buy World War II equipment, surplus equipment for pennies on the dollar. I remember one time I was in the bathroom with him and he was shaving, and I'm looking in the mirror and I'm looking at him, and I'm looking in the mirror and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, "Daddy, can I shave?" And he's like, "Yeah," right? So he gives me the shaving cream and I put it on my face, and he gives me the razor, but he takes the blade out and I'm there shaving. Why? Because I'm trying to be like my dad. I remember him teaching me to ride a bike, probably elementary school, and we'd get up 30 minutes a little earlier, and he's in the alley with me and we're riding, and he's right there behind me talking in my ear, "Come on, son, you can do it," and I'm pedaling. And I remember one morning I looked back for Dad, and he's about 20, 25 feet behind me, and here I was riding a bike on my own. My dad, when we had dinners like Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter dinners, my dad would be the last to serve himself. And I used to wonder why he never said anything to me about it, but I eventually realized what it was. He was making sure that everyone else was eating before him. And so at that point, I became the second to last person to serve because I wanted to be like my dad. One time, one of my high school friends came over and Mom asked if we wanted to eat. He says, "Yeah." And so we were eating. I forget what all we were eating, but I know we were having steak. And I went upstairs for something. I went in the kitchen and I saw Dad had everything that we all had the same thing, except Dad had 3 hot dogs on his plate. He gave my high school friend his steak. And that was a lesson. He didn't mention it, but it was a lesson that I got. And my dad told me all the time, he says, I had opportunities to have other jobs and to make more money, but it would have taken me away from the house, and family was more important. And so he always demonstrated that. And now our roles have changed. My dad was taking care of me, and now I'm, taking care of him. And just a month or so ago, I cut his hair for the first time. And I'm sitting in the same kitchen where he cut my hair. And when we sat down, he says to me, "So, son, are we going to talk about, how you're going to cut my hair?" I said, "Dad, you remember the first time you cut my hair in this very kitchen?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Did we discuss it?" He says, "No." And I said, "That's right." And I started laughing. Mom started laughing. But I think I did a halfway decent job. But I think the thing that stands out most, and this has happened a few times, but even most recently, Dad is talking to me and he says, "Son, I'm proud of you." Well, who doesn't want to hear that, right? We hear God the Father say, referring to Jesus, "This is my son in whom I'm well pleased." And to hear your father say that he's proud of you, my goodness, that is priceless. You can't buy that. And I ended up posting it on Facebook, man, and got so many. I didn't think anybody was gonna respond to it, but my goodness, I don't need my parents' approval. I don't need their permission, but you always love their approval. I wish everyone had the opportunity to hear those words, and I try to be a father to others. Not only to my girls, who are fully grown now, but when I've coached, when I've been in the classroom, when I have had school groups, I try to be that sort of father figure. Somebody just mentioned that a couple of like last week. They said, "Man, you ought to be a father figure, something." Well, listen, that's what I'm always trying to do, and I'm getting better at it. But that's because of my dad. I'm trying to be like him. Listen, I love my dad, and even at this stage in my life, I still want to grow up to be like him.